Hey, what's up, party people? It's Simone, and I am going to answer the 8 pen questions today. Last year, Leanne from Leanne Likes and I did a Zoom video where we collaborated on 8 questions, and that video sparked a response from many other YouTubers, big and small. And so we thought it would be an awesome thing to revisit those questions in March when all of this started last year. Today is March 11th, or that's when my video is publishing, 2024. And the video that we shared, I think we shared in the beginning of March of 2023. So it's been a year. And last year I did not record my answers on paper, but I decided that it would be a really awesome thing for me to have in my ink journal all the answers to all of those questions. And that's what I'm attempting to do today. There's only one take and we'll see how this goes. So the first question of those 8 questions is basically a static answer. When and how did your fountain pen journey begin? I started my fountain pen journey in 2nd grade, and that must have been maybe 1986 or so. I'm actually not really sure. I have no recollection when I started school. And I'm going to insert a photo right here to show you the fountain pen that I used. It was a Pelicano Junior. It was a red barrel that was almost the same color as this Uni Jetstream here. And a metal cap. There was a pelican in the finial of the cap, and I used cartridges, of course, because that's what we did at that time. And that's how my fountain pen journey began. I used with a Pelicano, and I had the red one. And I think, if I remember correctly, there were only 2 colors, red and blue. And most of the time, girls got the red one, boys got the blue one. And we were required to use fountain pens all through our school career. And I still used fountain pens at university. And the one that I still have left, of course, I haven't pulled it out because what is video preparation? Where is it though? I believe I put it in here, maybe, possibly, or not. Yes, right here. And I can show you a bonus pen. This is the fountain pen that I retired sometime last year. It is a Lamy Safari in yellow with a black clip. I have heard that there were silver clips as well. I think I purchased this sometime around 1995. And I used this all through my university life. It had a medium nib. It still has a medium nib. And I used to fill this with regular blue ink. The royal blue, probably Pelikan 4001 Königsblau, because we have something that is called, the German school children have something that is called a Tintenlöscher, where you have a pen. It's a felt tip pen that has a white tip, and it erases the blue, royal blue fountain pen ink. And then you have a blue felt tip pen where you can correct your mistakes. So that's what most students, and I certainly, used throughout my school career. This is my middle son's first fountain pen that he received when he started learning how to write with a fountain pen in elementary school. There is no nib on this right now because I found out that this works on a Pelikan twist, so I have put that there. But yeah, this is his pen that he received when he started learning how to write with a fountain pen. And my son is 17 right now. I don't think anything has changed since then. School children in Germany still learn how to write with fountain pens. The second question is favorite inks in the beginning. What are your go-to inks now? So in the beginning when I used my fountain pen in school, I would, as I said, obviously use Pelikan 4001 Königsblau. But then later on in my school career, I had those Rotring Art pens with 1.1 and 1.5 stub nibs, and I used black ink. Sometimes I would I purchased some cartridges with colors, a turquoise and a pink, and I would put those in, but most of the time I had black ink cartridges in the art pens, and then I would write titles with those in black, and the rest of the text that I had to write for school would be in regular blue ink. Then I started my second fountain pen journey in around 2017, and I purchased some ink bottles that I no longer have, and some ink sample packages from Goulet, and these were some of the inks that were included here as well as here. And then I purposefully purchased some ink samples to basically pull out the colors and match the colors of this magazine paper here. So those were those. These were some of the ones that I purchased in the beginning. But I thought I would show you the 3 bottles that I purchased as bottles. Rohre und Klingner, Altgold Grün. And this one doesn't really have much left in it anymore. I purchased Sailor Manyo Ink Akebi. And I haven't used this in such a long time. And then here is Diamine Ancient Copper. And because this is going to be a fun video, I want to put here, first of all, I want to write Pelikan 4001 Königsblau. And then I want to swatch the 3 inks that I just showed you. I need one of this. I hope this video isn't going to be too long, but you know, if you want to see all the questions answered, then you just have to stick all the way to the end. And I'm going to write the titles of these, or the names of these inks, with my black fountain pen. So this looks like there is, I hope it's not bad. That's one of those things. Yes, fountain pen inks can get bad, and I didn't know that for a while. Now I do. I just love this green. Maybe I need to revisit an old favorites currently inked. The inks that I'm using and pens that I'm using are all the inks and pens that I have inked for the month of February. And yes, it is already March here, but I'm calling it currently inked for February because I inked the pens in February, but I'm not limiting myself with my currently inked by, you know, the date. If it's March and I still have those pens inked, that's fine. The next time that I clean them and ink new pens, I'm gonna call them the month that I do that. This basically is still one of the favorite color schemes that I have. I feel like a teal Something like this here is missing. But yeah, these are some of my favorite inks. And what are your go-to inks now? Yes, the jewel tones. These kinds of tones are definitely inks that I still really very much enjoy. This color scheme right up here, that's what I love. So this is, and I think those bottles I purchased in 2021. And I might even have an unboxing and swatching of those. Swatching probably not. Who knows? I will, if I have a video, I will find it and put it in the cards up here. Diamine. Right now I'm like, okay, I need to get those inks into pens. This is a very interesting question. Number 3 is, how have your ink and pen tastes changed over time? Let's start with inks because that's what is in your face right here. If I am just comparing the inks that I liked when I first started again, diving into inks and pens again in 2017 to 2020, not much. I still love these colors very much. I still really like the bold saturated inks, these jewel tones here. Well, off tones, maybe not a bright red, but a burnt orange color, or maybe not the grass green, but the olive green. Maybe not the really bright pink, but this magenta-y purple color. These are colors that I really love. And I'm just always referring up to here. These are colors that I like. I don't necessarily gravitate towards maybe the color that is here in the 7. These lighter, less saturated tones aren't necessarily something that I love, and I don't think this has ever changed. I really love the bright, saturated, bold colors, and I am not afraid to put a color like this into a pen, or even this color, which is this one that I'm pointing to right here, which is Iro Utsushi. What am I saying? No, that's not true. Pilot Iroshizuku Tsutsuji. So for inks, my ink changes. Inks.
I still love jewel tones, saturated inks, and bold colors.
I still am very hesitant about shimmer inks. I do have 2 inked in March. I don't know if it's worth my time dealing with clogging issues, especially when I'm not using my pens frequently enough. And I really, really enjoy, I love inks that are shading. I think just now that I'm thinking of that, or looking at this while it's drying, there is some sheen around here in the Sailor Manyo Akebi, and it looks like it's greenish, goldish sheen. I think last year I said that I didn't like inks that sheened. I am slowly getting more used to sheening inks, and I don't dislike them anymore. I'm more open to trying them and seeing how they work for me, and I have been surprised by quite a few sheening inks in the past year, where I said that I actually really liked the experience. So maybe I can write here. I am starting.
There must be a paper footer in here. I'm starting to enjoy sheening inks.
Okay, still not dry though. It is finally dry. I went out with the dog and I'm back. So, pens. What has changed in my pens and ink taste, in my pen taste, changed over time? I think there's some very interesting things to note. In the beginning, I was really drawn to these flat top pens. I'm still drawn to those, like the TÜSB Eco, or this one is an Eco T. This was something that I really liked. I like the aesthetic of this pen, and I thought that the cigar-shaped pens looked really weird, old school, old dude kind of pen. But I think I now have more of these cigar-shaped pens than I have flat top pens. I still really like a simple, plain colored pen like this one or this one. This is like the... I'm not shying away from bold colors. This one is Bordeaux, for instance, or this is deep yellow. I'm not shying away from the bold colors, but I really like when they're a single shade. I've grown my taste to include these kinds of cracked resins, or this one. I prefer this color over this one. I also really like pens like this, where each one of the acrylics has a different color that just is something that I like. However, I really have to say that when I was going, at first, I was really going for the looks. When I didn't know what I liked or didn't like, I went for the looks. So I liked, for instance, this color, and I saw pens and I wanted to try them, and I bought quite a few pens that weren't super expensive because I liked the looks of them. And now, as I have gotten more experience with pens, I actually look more for the nib experience, for the way the pen is weighted, the diameter of the grip section. All of those things are measurements that I check before I actually purchase a pen. And even if I like a pen by the looks and it's just not within specific parameters, then I will admire it from afar. Whereas before I didn't. And I also really, really enjoy or purchase pens that maybe didn't necessarily appeal to me in the beginning, like this feminine shaped Scribo feel, because I want to experience the nib. This is a nib by Scribo that is made in-house. It has an ebonite feed, and so it's different than, you know, the Esterbrook Estes with the Jowo nibs, or also the hand-turned pens that many have, Jowo nibs. The nib experience is always the same. I'm also in my pen tastes, for example, this is the only hand-turned pen that I have in my collection, not because I don't like hand-turned pens. I actually really, really enjoy the how this pen feels in my hand, but because I'm not necessarily drawn to these swirly acrylics, and so I just stay away from them. But I wanted to show you some of these examples, and now I don't really know how to write this. I think I'm going to stop and write, and then I'll tell you what I want. Okay, I'm back. I think I'm especially willing to disregard a shape preference or color preference when I know that the nib is special. Like with the Scribo feel, where actually I really like how this feels in my hand. So it's not something that I would say I don't enjoy how it feels in my hand. But the nib is so amazing, and so I'm keeping it. No, it was something more like, this nib is supposed to be really great. Let me try and see. And oh, it's not just the nib, but the rest is good too. So I am actually definitely going to keep this. Yes, for sure. When I purchased this was a risk. I'm not, usually not as risky. I like to try things before I commit, but something that's changed much in the last year is also how I, in March last year, the only pen that I had was this Bennu Euphoria with sparkles. I wasn't at all interested in the sparkly Bennu pens that are very out there and obnoxious, and now I actually own 5 Bennu pens. 4 of them are sparkly. So things changed quite a bit this last year for me. Number 4 is, are there inks and pens that you would like to try but haven't? I just want to say a couple things of what I said last year. Last year I wanted to try the Esterbrook ST. I now own 3. And the reason why I was able to purchase and own them is because you all used my Atlas Stationer's code. And also because Sarah from Ginger Peachy Pens loaned me one of her Esterbrook STs. And she also loaned me a Pilot Custom 823, which I fell in love with this pen, and I actually received this pen as a gift from a viewer, which I'm eternally grateful for. This pen is amazing. I'm so glad I can give it a good home. I think other pens that I wanted to try were the Sailors. I have been able to try a Pro Gear Slim, a Pro Gear, and a King of Pen. And those were all really interesting to learn from. And yeah, so I am very enamored with, let me just pull them out. Since we're doing show and tell, I can also pull out these 3. Oh my gosh, there's water. So only one of them belongs to me. The Pro Gear Slim here, this is the Autumn Sky, I think, was also gifted to me by a viewer. Again, I'm very grateful for this. She was extremely disappointed by the nib, and it was super scratchy. I was able to get it tuned by Kirk Spear of Penrealm at the San Francisco Pen Show in 2023, and now it writes much smoother and more wet. I would dare to say that it isn't the same as the actual Sailor feedback usually is. So this is probably not a good Sailor experience in the sense of this is how a Sailor feels. And these 2 pens don't belong to me. This one is a Sailor Pro Gear, and this one is a Sailor King of Pen. Well, Pro Gear King of Pen. I was able to borrow those from my friend Nadia at the San Francisco Pen Show as well, and I still have to give them back or purchase them from her. And I did not think that I would enjoy the feedback of the Sailor Pro Gears, given the fact that I really love how smooth and soft the Custom 823 feels. That was the update for last year. I'm probably looking to purchase the King of Pen. I'm looking to purchase a Sailor Pro Gear with a medium nib. I have, this one is a medium fine nib. So this is, I think, a tiny bit too fine for me. And the pens that I would like to try but haven't, let me write those down for you. This is not necessarily I would like to own them, but that I would like to try. So the first that comes to mind is the Waterman Karen. Then I would also really like to try a Lamy Dialogue CC. I would love to test this maybe for a month or so to see if it actually dries up as badly as other people say. Another pen that I would like to try is a Leonardo. I don't even know if I would like to try the Momento Zero Grande, 2.0, not Grande. I would like to try a Leonardo pen with a gold nib. I know that they also have, I think, ebonite feeds with a gold nib. And so I would just like to try and see how that feels. And then lastly, something that I would love to try as well is an Omas. And I'm going to write old. From before the company went under, I would love to try a pen from that manufacturer. So that is basically all the pens that I would like to try, not necessarily own. Actually, I really don't have any inks on my radar that I would love to try. All the ones that I have in my stash. That is an endeavor in itself. What is your Holy Grail pen is the question number 5. And I think last year I said I didn't have a Holy Grail pen. This year that has changed. I just recently saw a Sailor King of Pens, and it is called, on the Goulet website, it is said it is called Sailor King of Pens No, N-O-H, fountain pen Hagoromo. And I'm going to include, again, pictures of that pen right here. This is just such a stunning piece of art. And I'm just going to read to you what it says on the Goulet Pens website. No Hagoromo fountain pen, a true masterpiece that combines the timeless art of No with the craftsmanship of Sailor. No, a classical performing art that has been cherished since the 14th century in Japan, is known for its profound cultural significance. Among the various No players, Hagoromo stands out for its captivating storyline and mesmerizing performances. The term Hagoromo refers to the ethereal flying robe worn by celestial maidens in the sky, symbolizing beauty and grace. And it is a limited edition masterpiece handcrafted by the renowned Urushi artist Ishu Tamura. It embodies the essence of Hagoromo with its breathtaking designs and impeccable attention to detail. And there is a limited edition with only 32 pieces available worldwide and only available outside of Japan. Yeah, the pen is made of ebonite and comes with a King of Pen 21 karat gold medium nib. I think this pen is absolutely stunning. And on the Goulet Pens website, it is priced as $4,000 US dollars. King of Pens. No. Number 6 is, how many pens do you currently own? And I had to do some math here, and I do have 35 fountain pens at the moment. That does not include the 2 retired pens that I showed earlier, the Lamy Safari in yellow and the Pelicano Junior, because they just don't work well anymore. They are just kept for sentimental reasons. I think question number 7, do you have a limit on pens? Is it a number? Is it a feeling? When do you know that you have reached your maximum? Was one of the questions that Leanne and I spent the most time on last year. I was very, very set to have a limit because I felt kind of overwhelmed. That has changed quite a bit. I don't know if I set a number last year, but I thought that maybe 20 or 30 pens would be the maximum that I would like to have, because I felt that would be a manageable number. And I was very in that headspace that I needed to limit it, that I needed to make rules for myself on how I would have to handle incoming and outgoing pens, how many pens would be okay, how many wouldn't. And that did not really work for me last year. I definitely feel like I am someone who loves to explore. I said the nib is very important to me, the experience, the different experience. And I am currently not setting any limits. I'm setting some arbitrary rules on maybe not to acquire all the expensive pens in the beginning of the year in order to give me time to explore what I am purchasing. But I am not setting any limits anymore. And for some weird reason, that seems to work, because I started out the year 2024 with 34 pens, and I currently own 35. So even though I purchased 3 pens in February, I sold some, I gave away some, and it's just, it doesn't feel as, like this is something that needs to be on my mind constantly. I'm currently also very happy that my mind doesn't circle around the next pen that I would like to buy. And I'd rather have that feeling continue, instead of saying, well, 35 is the arbitrary number that I'm giving myself to be able to own. There are some pens that haven't been invented yet that I might want to try, and giving myself a number, and then maybe also, which is going to be question number 8, making rules on what happens then if that number is exceeded. It just feels like it's giving me so much to think about, and so much to my brain, so much fodder to circle around constantly, and I don't really want that anymore. So my really easy number for the answer for this question is no. A more maybe detailed answer would be that I think I will know when I have reached the maximum number of pens. This video is a wild ride for sure. I have spent about 3 hours trying to film this with my puppy in the background, being awake, being obnoxious, and I am going for a walk with him. And then finally, my camera died. So let me catch you up on what I have told you here. I think I will know when I have acquired all the pens that I need. And I put need in quotation marks because, let's be real, we don't need 35 pens. We don't need 15 pens. 1 pen would be totally enough. This is a hobby, this is a collection, and this is just how this goes. I do think that something that helped me be more open to acquiring new pens is that in the last year I was able to let go of those pens that just don't really work for me any longer. So I sold quite a few pens, and I have a video on that where I talk about why I sold the pens that in 2023 that I sold. And I'm letting go of the things that just no longer serve me, even if it might have been a pen that I wanted for a specific reason. I just the last pen that I sold was my Namiki Vanishing Point in Hunter Green. That was a vintage pen, and I tried using it in the month of February, and it just didn't work out for me. And so I decided, if I have such a hard time using this pen and enjoying the pen, then it is better placed in a home where the person enjoys it more than I was able to. And so that was a decision of maybe 2 days, and I sold it, and I'm okay. I don't miss it. And so I know that this is something that is the right decision. So the answer for number 8, consequently, what would you do if another pen came along, is actually nothing. If I want to own this pen for 1, 2, 3 reasons that make sense to me, then I can afford it, of course, then I would totally go out and buy that. Because why not? I have come or experienced in the past year that my collection isn't static. I'm not accumulating pens, and I'm not getting pens in and acquiring them and adding them up, and they're growing and growing and growing. Yes, the number is growing, but very slowly. There is a fluidity there, and pens come and go as I enjoy using them. And so I'm extremely content with the way this is going right now. So let me see if I can cut all of this together so that it comes out as a cohesive video. If not, I guess I will have to refilm this. I had a lot of fun talking about this and revisiting some of the questions. On my Discord, we already talked about maybe doing some other questions in 2025, maybe revisiting some that are here if they're still holding true, but adding some other questions. So if you have more questions that could make a 8 more pen questions video tag, I'd love to hear them and add them to the list. I don't know if I can actually organize another more than 31 people who want to share the answers to these questions in a organized fashion. But yeah, and also it was so much fun, and I want to say this, need to say this right here. Everyone here on YouTube who is participating in this tag, and even those who are not participating for one reason or another, because life is just too hard at the moment to be able to commit to something like this, I am so grateful. I had this idea, I bounced it back and forth with the people on my Discord and Leanne, and I wasn't sure if this was going to work, because filling a whole month with one video per day is 31 people. To get 31 people to commit to this was overwhelming. And so I decided, well, we'll do it. And if we only get 15, then it's 15, or if we only get 7, then it's 7. But we are at 31, and we are already scheduling people into April. There is still time to sign up. I'm going to include the link in my description box down below. There are bigger channels like Karina Loves to Plan yesterday, and there are smaller channels. I think that Amy from Notes from Past Amy is the one that is posting her video tomorrow. Let me just double check. No, I'm wrong. Claudia is posting her video tomorrow, but Amy already did on March 9th. Claudia from the Claudie Desk is posting her video tomorrow, and this is such a great opportunity to get to hear from the people that you already know, like Karina and some other awesome YouTubers that have big numbers of subscribers and you might be familiar with, but there are also some awesome smaller YouTubers in this lineup who maybe are posting their first video with this 8 pen questions tag, and I would love for you to support each and every one of them. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm so overwhelmed by the response to this, and I'm so thankful for every single one of you watching and for every single one of you posting. This is what YouTube community feels like, and I'm so grateful for it. So I hope you enjoy. I hope this video was enjoyable for you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.